A woman woke up one morning and discovered that the man she had been dating for months had apparently never been her boyfriend. Not that he had left her, not that she had been cheated on. He simply had no memory of their relationship existing at all. But that wasn't the only thing that had changed. Her job was different. Her recent past didn't match the world around her. And the more she looked for evidence of the life she remembered living, the less she could find. This is the story of Lerina Garcia, and it only gets stranger from here. In 2008, a woman posting under the name Lerina Garcia Gordo wrote a message on a small Spanish internet forum. She described herself as a middle-aged professional. She wasn't looking for attention. She wasn't selling anything. She had one question. Had anyone else experienced what she had? What she described in that post would eventually reach millions of people across dozens of countries. It has been cited in paranormal research, debated in psychology forums, and repeatedly ranked among the most discussed mystery cases of the internet age. And at the center of all of it is one question that has never been answered. How does a woman spend months in a serious relationship with a man and then wake up one day in a world where that relationship apparently never happened? By her account, it started small. She woke up on an ordinary weekday morning and noticed that her bed sheets were different. Not dramatically, just not the ones she remembered owning. She didn't panic. She assumed she had simply forgotten changing them and moved on, but then she got to work, and that's where things stopped making sense. She walked into the same building she had worked in for years. Her colleagues recognized her. Her name was still in the system. But her department had changed. She was listed under a different division, with a different role and responsibility she had no memory of ever taking on. As far as her workplace was concerned, she had been doing this job for some time. She said nothing to anyone. She got through the day, she went home, and then she called the man she had been dating. This is the part of Lerina's story that people cannot stop thinking about. For several months before that morning, she had been in what she described as a serious relationship. She knew where he lived. She knew his routines. She had accumulated months of shared time with this person. This was not a brief encounter she might have misremembered. This was an ongoing relationship with a specific man whose name she knew. When she contacted him, he had no memory of any of it. He wasn't hostile. He didn't think she was confused or unstable. He simply could not confirm a relationship that, from his perspective, had never taken place. Whatever she was looking for from that conversation, he couldn't give it to her. Now here is where it becomes even more disorienting. While the man she remembered dating had no memory of her, her previous boyfriend, a man she was certain she had broken up with before starting the new relationship, believed they were still together. He referenced shared experiences she had no memory of. He behaved as though nothing had changed between them, because for him, nothing had. Lerina was not caught between two men who both remembered her differently. She was caught in a timeline where the last several months of her life had apparently been replaced with a version she had never lived. Most people at this point might have assumed they were having some kind of breakdown. Lerina did the opposite. She started keeping notes. She went back through her memories methodically, checking what she could verify against what the world was telling her. Her family was the same. Her home was the same. Her broader history appeared intact. Whatever had shifted, it wasn't everything. It was surgical. Specific, contained pieces of her recent life had been quietly replaced. She looked for news stories she remembered reading. Some were there, others weren't. She searched for a minor public event she recalled hearing about and found either no record of it or a version that didn't match what she remembered. She tried to find the edges of the change. She wanted to know, where does the world I remember end and where does this one begin? She couldn't find a clean answer. And that uncertainty, she said, was its own kind of terrifying. After weeks of investigating her own life and finding no satisfying answer, Lerina turned to the internet. She found a forum where people discussed unusual experiences. She wrote her account calmly, without drama. with the specific details that would make it so difficult to forget. She asked whether anyone else had experienced something similar. She answered a handful of follow-up questions from other users, and then she was gone. No follow-up posts ever confirmed to be hers. No book, no interview, no reveal, no monetization of any kind. She dropped the account into the forum and disappeared. The post stayed. It spread. Within years, it had been translated into dozens of languages and reached communities she had almost certainly never imagined. And here is the question that the disappearance creates. If this was a hoax designed for attention, why did she never come back for it? The psychological explanations are worth hearing. The most credible is dissociation, a mental state in which a person's perception of reality becomes temporarily disconnected from what is actually occurring. During a dissociative episode, someone could misunderstand a job change, misread the status of a relationship, or construct a false narrative from real but misinterpreted events. These episodes can last for extended periods and leave no obvious trace. And yes, it may simply be a hoax. Lerina Garcia has never been verified as a real person. No journalist has ever located or interviewed her. The story is structured in a way that resists investigation almost perfectly. These are serious possibilities. None of them should be dismissed, but none of them have closed the case either. Think about what a false memory of a relationship would actually require. It wouldn't be a single false moment. It would be months of false mornings, false conversations, false accumulated intimacy. The job discrepancy could be explained, but the relationship, the specific, named, months-long relationship with a real person who has no corresponding memory, is the part that doesn't sit comfortably inside the standard explanations. When Lerina's story found its way into online communities focused on unexplained phenomena, it connected to something that was already gaining traction. The Mandela effect, the experience of large groups of people sharing the same false memory of an event that didn't happen, had recently become a point of serious internet discussion. Some researchers and enthusiasts were beginning to frame these experiences not as memory errors, but as evidence of something stranger, the possibility that consciousness can, under unknown circumstances, shift between parallel versions of reality. Lerina's case was immediately cited as one of the most detailed first-person accounts of such a shift. Supporters of the parallel reality theory believe Lerina may have experienced a shift between two nearly identical versions of reality. While mainstream science offers no evidence that such transitions can occur, the idea became one of the most popular explanations for her story. The theory is unproven. It may be unprovable, but it is the framework that made her story feel to many people like more than a personal mystery. Lerina Garcia posted her account once. She offered no proof. She asked for none in return. She described a morning on which the world she woke into was not the world she had gone to sleep in, and then she left the internet to decide what to do with that. More than 15 years later, no one has identified her. No one has debunked her account with specific contradicting evidence. No one has confirmed it either. What we are left with is this. A woman claimed she spent months in a relationship with a man who had no memory of it. She claimed her professional life had shifted without her consent. She claimed the recent past she remembered could not be found in the world around her. We don't know which one it is. What do you think happened to Lerina Garcia? Leave your theory in the comments, because after everything we've examined today, we're still not certain.